I recently went to an event and there were about 1,000 people there. And of the couples that were there, about 95% of them were black men with non-black women. The person leading the event was a black man that was married to a white woman. I'd be lying if I said that seeing all of this at the same time was not triggering.
Welcome back, or welcome to Uncle ABL. And in today's video, we're talking about a young lady who is expressing her grievance about the Los Angeles dating scene. She's saying that she sees so many black men with white women, and it's quite frankly very disheartening. It's so bad that she and her girlfriend, some of her friends she knows, they're considering leaving Los Angeles for this reason. Now, this is a pretty interesting video, and I have a lot I want to say. There's specific reasons why she's seeing this. All right. And before I even get into it, I'm not the guy to police your Johnson. Whatever you want to do, whoever you want to date, as long as they cool with it, that's fine. I have no problem. You want to be black dating black, black dating white, white dating white, white dating whatever. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm here to provide some clarity about what's happening, and I'm not going to bash black women in the process. So let's go ahead and check it out here, the full video. Of course, I'm gonna try to let it play, but I'll probably pause it at certain points to give my 2 cents. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So I need to talk to y'all about something. I recently went to an event and there were about 1,000 people there. And of the couples that were there, about 95% of them were black men with non-black women. Now,
non-black is a key thing because that doesn't always mean white. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Leading the event was a black man that was married to a white woman. I'd be lying if I said that seeing all of this at the same time was not triggering. This is pretty much what the dating scene looks like overall in LA. Here are 4 other observations that I picked up on since moving to LA. 1, it's not equal. It's not like I'm seeing a bunch of black women dating outside their race. In fact, I'm barely seeing black women dating at all. 2, it's gotten so bad that at this point, whenever I do see a black man that's single, the first thing that I'm asking myself is, I wonder if he dates black women. 3, within the past couple months, I've had conversations with multiple black women that actually want to leave LA. Not because of the economy, not because they aren't flourishing in their careers, but simply because they feel like there's no love for them in LA. The fact that I know so many beautiful, talented, compassionate, evolved black women that are all feeling the same way makes no sense to me. And lastly, when you don't see yourself reflected in a space, you feel like you don't exist. As a black woman myself, I can tell you honestly, when it comes to the romantic space, I have never felt more invisible than I do living in LA.
That's pretty heavy. That's a lot going on there. Like I said, there is a specific reason why she's feeling this way, why she's seeing what she's seeing. And a lot of it is just about geography. Look, California, left coast, it's not a lot of black people to begin with. All right. You're talking about less than double digits, maybe like 4 or 5% in California. If wrong, let me know in the comments. The majority in California, Hispanic. Below that, probably white, Asian. Black might be 3rd or 4th on the list of racial groups. So that's the first thing. It's not that many of us. And since we're so few in number over there, it's not uncommon to see black folks, whether they be male or female, dating outside their race. It's not uncommon at all because you grow up like that. You might be in a high school where it's like 5% black and the rest white, Hispanic, whatever. So it's regular, it's normal. And they grew up together. Out here in the South, it's not quite like that. You see, if you go to Atlanta, for example, and you go to downtown, midtown, Buckhead, you're going to think, wow, it's black folks everywhere. You guys are the majority. There's nobody else. We're the majority, yes, in Atlanta, Georgia, the city, but take a trip 15 minutes away and it's going to be a whole new world. You're not going to be in Atlanta anymore. You're going to be in Georgia. And if you know that reference. I'll take you from downtown, midtown, Buckhead, where it's almost 100% black, depending upon where you are, to a place that's 100% white, almost. It's like the reverse. You become the majority as a black person in midtown, and the minority once you go Alpharetta, somewhere like that. very short distance, but it's different. That's just how it is in the South. And as a result of that, blacks tend to stay with blacks, whites tend to stay with whites. There's not a lot of intermixing when they're hanging out, going to clubs and whatnot. You got a black bar, white bar, black establishment, black places, white places. That's just kind of how it is in the South. So it's not a lot of race mixing. You go over to the left coast, there's no black colleges. There's not a lot of black only things. So everybody pretty much comes together. And again, it's not that many of us. So you got to ask yourself one question here. Do you think everyone that you saw is from Los Angeles, or are they from somewhere else and they came to Los Angeles? They're probably from LA or on the left coast somewhere, and they grew up where it was nothing to be with the opposite race. And then as far as the women are concerned, a lot of black women will leave when they feel like they are not getting what they want. If they want to date black men, and it's not really a lot of them on the left coast, they'll leave. I've met so many women from California in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of them. They're out here on the east side of things, trying to make things happen. That is very common for women, black women, to leave LA and go to, matter of fact, I was meeting black women from LA when I was still in Virginia. When I was a kid, even from like Los Angeles, I got a cousin from LA. So it's nothing to see that kind of thing happen. Now, there's more here. Let's hear from women on the left coast. This might be Vegas. Shout out to It's Complicated. It's Complicated. If you're watching, where was this filmed? Is this Vegas, California? Where is this at? Now, we're going to see what they're talking about as far as black men dating white women. Check it out.
Are you more likely to see black men dating white women or white men dating black women?
You see black men dating white women all the time. You don't see white men dating black women all the time. So,
black men dating white women.
And why is that?
To be honest, I'm not really quite sure. That's just what I
feel like they might be intimidated by us black.
It's not an intimidation at all. It's not an intimidation. Really, men, for the most part, get with whoever likes them the most and whoever is going to be the best fit. You know, and a lot of guys don't have that many options. So it's not even a matter of, you're too intimidating. We're not that picky. It's just a matter of, okay, do we get along? That's the main thing. Intimidation is not really the issue. Let's continue.
So they might do another race.
I don't see myself dating a white guy, nothing against his race, but it's more about like my bloodline.
Let's pause right there. Now that's true what she's saying. Black women tend to not date, quote unquote, out as much as black men. And that's probably why the young lady did not see many black women dating, because they're refusing to date out. They don't want to date Hispanics, which are the majority in California. They don't want to date whites, which are also going to be right below Hispanics. They want to date black, but it's not that many of us. So a lot of times they end up leaving, and then the pool of available black women might kind of suffer as a result.
And keeping it pure and black, and maybe if I want to have children, I want my children to be black. Nothing against like skin color, race, nothing.
Are you more?
So that's what's happening. Shout out again to It's Complicated for this clip right here. You guys go ahead and subscribe to him. Now, I want to include one last clip. This is pretty interesting because he's talking about a date he went on. Now, I don't know if the young lady was black, white, or whatever, but this might kind of be a window into dating in 2024 in Los Angeles specifically. Check it out. And my man, this is Train with Quan. Shout out to him.
Dating is hard in 2024. I'm gonna share a story with you guys real quick. I went on a date with a girl that I met on Raya some months back. And when the date was going well, she asked me what I did for work, and I told her I'm a personal trainer. And she goes, she freezes. She goes, do you like own a gym, work for a gym? Like, what does that mean? And I told her, I said, well, I pay the gym like a barber pays booth rent, and I run my business out of it, and I also work part-time. And so the woman literally pauses and goes, oh, and I said, I also do social media as well. And she goes, oh, I usually only date people with real jobs. And then she gets up and says, under her breath, like, have a good night, and leaves. So I'm sitting there flabbergasted. And I'm like, wow, is this what dating's gonna be like? For those of you who follow me for a long time, for a couple of years now, you know in about 2 weeks, it'll be a year since my breakup happened. My relationship I was in for almost 5 years, so.
Now let's pause right here. So you get the idea of what's going on. You got some really weird situations. Women have high expectations, and that's across the board. So dating specifically in 2024 is difficult. Dating in Los Angeles, where it's glitz and glamour and it's all about pretenses and what you got, is hard. So if black women are having a hard time dating in Los Angeles, it's not just y'all, it's everybody. If you're seeing couples that are together, they probably been together for a long time. Maybe they grew up together. You can't just say, oh, that's just Los Angeles, they don't like us. The reality is, as I close, it ain't that many black folks in California or on the West Coast at all. Once you cross Mississippi River, the population of black folks dives off. Where I'm from and where I've lived, it's nothing to see a lot of black folks everywhere. It's nothing to see 1,000 black folks in one place. It's people right now in 2024 in the United States that have not met a black person before ever in real life. It's right now they have not met them, let alone to be in a place filled with them. So you got to put things in perspective and understand that it's not just you going through things or just black women. It's everybody. And a lot of black women, what they do, like you were saying, you and your girlfriends, to the earlier woman, a lot of y'all just simply leave. Y'all come to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Houston. That's what y'all do. And then things get a little bit better. Atlanta might be a little dicey because it's so many of y'all, but that's a different story, different video. So I digress. That's pretty much all I got. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.